Rip City Mornings.
So absolutely take all the time you need to get yourself some caffeine fuel for this upcoming journey of yours.
Yeah, I think I'm good to go now. And it was fun trying to get home last night. It only took 4.5 hours.
All right, so take me through what happened yesterday for those that are wondering, because obviously we've all seen the video of the Blazers and the guys, and Dame he put some bars together while sitting there on the plane. How did this whole thing start with you and the team and the traveling and the traveling support staff? What the heck happened yesterday?
So we get on the plane, and the weather wasn't good, obviously, and we're like, oh man, this might be a little rough getting out of here. But I think back to trying to get out of Salt Lake City or Denver when the weather is bad, and usually they bring out the little de-ice truck, and we lose about a half hour or so waiting to de-ice, and then we get off and we're good. So we never get announcements from the pilot. It never happens, right? So at 3:05, the flight was scheduled to leave at 3. We get a little announcement from the pilot saying, yeah, there's on the other side of the airport, the commercial side, basically there's a couple of planes that need to be de-iced, and then they're going to try and make their way over here. And it could be an hour. That's looking at it on the positive side. So just sit tight and enjoy yourself. So time goes by, an hour goes by, more time goes by, nothing. There might have been another announcement in there. I took a nap for a little bit. And then at I don't know, maybe 7 o'clock, 10 of 7, we get a note saying it's going to be at least another 2 hours. And we're, there were some expletives, I'm sure, said. I might have muttered a couple. Yeah, I was sitting next to Michael Holton, and I try not to use expletives around him because he's so wholesome. So those might have been under my breath. And then maybe 8:30 or so, 8 o'clock, we get an announcement. I think it was from Jeff Clark saying that go home, and we have a flight tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Get home safe. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, so that's at the airport. So now it's get home safe. Now, I was lucky enough to not be on the roads last night. I did get on the roads this morning to get to the studio and saw the graveyard of cars that were just abandoned on I-5 South on my way in to work this morning. What was, and again, I know where you, in the neighborhood of where you live, not going to let everybody else know, but I kind of know you don't live near the airport, Travis. You don't live anywhere near the airport.
Yeah, it's not close to the airport. So there are a bunch of people that I guess tried to get a hotel over by the airport, and every single hotel was booked.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was zero chance of getting that. So we're like, okay, what do we do here? So my buddy Justin Hyatt, who does graphics with us, he lives right down the street from me. Our kids play together. Our wives know each other. We're like, let's do the buddy system here. One of us is going to drive. That way, our wives are, feel comfortable that we're not alone, and we can, we can tackle this. So we dig out my car out of the snow, and I punch it into Waze because, Waze usually tells you, what roads to avoid, right? So, the little thing about the road sensors, right? And it tells you if the roads are going really slow and which roads to avoid. Well, what those road sensors don't take into account is if everything's at a dead stop, because then it doesn't look like the traffic's moving slow.
Oh, no.
So we end up on Columbia Boulevard, and we are literally stuck there without moving for 2 hours. Finally, we're able to get to a point where we can turn around, and we try all these back road stuff, and we see okay, this is telling me to get on Sandy Boulevard. That is stopped. We are not getting on Sandy Boulevard. So then there was a road, I don't know, it was near the intersection of 84 and 205, and we see that there's all these back roads that can take us to 84. Okay, perfect. So we get to the road where we turn left or right to get to 84, and it's left, and it's straight uphill.
Oh, no.
Now, keep in mind, I'm driving my little Ford Fusion. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to chance that. So we start going the other way, realize that's not going to take us anywhere. And we're like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to try the hill. And we tried the hill and actually got up it. Now, there were a lot of things going on while all this is happening. There were cars sliding all over the place, cars turning around where they shouldn't have been, tons of cars abandoned, a lot of people angry. I'm pretty sure I saw one lady flipping somebody off outside of her car. And I had to get out at one point because there was this guy on Columbia Boulevard that was just gunning it, and cars were there were like 5 people pushing his car from behind, and I start running out. They're like, "No, this is how people die. Stop doing this." So I told him to gear down and push the gas slow. Otherwise, the thing was going to spin out and he's going to wipe out like 15 people. So there was all that going on. Then we get on 84, and we realize that 84, the intersection from 84 to I-5 is shut down, and we were able to get off the last exit on 84, then circle around. Eventually, you'll go over the Ross Island Bridge and get on I-5. And I dropped Justin off at home and ended up at my house at 1:30.
Travis Demers, the voice of your Portland Trailblazers, as the travel issues for the Blazers are in an interesting spot. So now you are on your way to the airport, and so what from a basketball standpoint, Travis, what does this mean? Like, because obviously you guys normally get down there the night before, and then the Blazers would have a shoot around or a walkthrough. Now that you guys had to change and are leaving this morning, what does this mean for the Blazers heading into tonight? Just no walkthrough. Just we'll see you at the layup line.
Yeah, I would assume. I don't know all the details of what they're doing, but I've never had to fly in day of game. But I don't know if you remember this, but in the year of the COVID, right, there was a game where there were some travel issues getting to New Orleans. I was not on that trip, but the Blazers had to fly in the day of the game, and I think they landed at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and had to go straight to the arena. And they were down by 17 with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and came back and won. And that's really the only experience I have with that. So I don't know that we're going to get down by 17, but we'll come back and win tonight, whatever it is.
Travis Demers, the voice of your Portland Trailblazers, who is now on his way to catch his second flight to Sacramento. Never has there been anyone so desperate to get to Sacramento, but here we are. This is the situation. One real quick, let's talk some hoops real quick while I've got you here,
Sure.
Trav, because obviously the Blazers are going to be without Anthony Simons for a good chunk of time. I don't believe they put a timetable on that. Doesn't really come as a surprise, as there have been some talk about the Blazers medical staff in the news lately. Maybe you've heard of it. So not surprising that they're going to be ultra cautious. You look now heading forward. They've got Cam Reddish. They've got Matisse Thybulle now on this roster. Do you see, is Thybulle the guy that's going to fill the minutes? Is that going to be maybe a hybrid between Thybulle and maybe getting Shaedon Sharpe some run, Nasir Little? How do you figure the Blazers and Chauncey Billups kind of divvying up what is a lot of very valuable minutes that are going to be lost without Anthony Simons for the time being?
Yeah, I think everything that you mentioned is on the table, right? Because Ant's only missed 2 games this year. So there really hasn't been a lot of, okay, we got to figure out what to do without Anthony. And when Josh Hart was here, it was, okay, pretty easy. We just slide him over to the shooting guard position. He's a natural shooting guard anyway. But I don't know who that is. It could be some Shaedon Sharpe. It could be some Matisse Thybulle. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's top 2, top 3 in the league and 3-pointers made this season. That's hard to replace. So you've got to figure something out. And I think you will see some Shaedon Sharpe. I think you will see some Matisse Thybulle. I think you will see some Cam Reddish. And the other thing that does is it gives you a little more length, which is something this team has really lacked. And Nurk is out tonight, so you're going to have less size on the front line. So if you can get some extra length in the backcourt that helps. And I mean, Cam Reddish, I hadn't really seen too much of him. That dude is big. I mean, when you see him up close, you're like, wow, that guy is big. He is every bit 6'8". He's got long arms. He's rangy. He can move. He's obviously had some issues getting on the floor for various reasons. I don't know what they are. In New York and Atlanta, but so far here, he's looked pretty darn good in the 3 games that we've had him. So, is he going to be the Cam Reddish that everybody thought, or is he going to be the Cam Reddish that hadn't played much in the last couple of years, or is he going to be somewhere in between? So I think all of those things are on the table in terms of who could play there.
It's going to be a very impactful couple of weeks or a month of basketball for this Blazer team as they try to get up over the hump, get out, get into that play-in line, and we'll see where this team goes from here. We'll see if this team goes to Sacramento, as Travis Demers has got a flight to catch coming up in an hour and some change. Hey, Travis, thanks so much for your time. I know I say this all the time. I truly mean it every time, but I really emphasize it. Safe travels to the airport, safe travels down to Sacramento. Have a terrific game on the call tonight, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon, buddy.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.